Long-distance relationships get a bad rap, and let's be honest, they're not always easy. But does distance automatically mean disaster, or can real love survive the miles? In this video, we're talking about whether long-distance relationships can actually work, what it takes to make them last, the challenges to expect, and the habits that keep the connection strong. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more honest relationship advice that meets you where you are. Let's get into it. The psychology behind long-distance love. Distance creates a unique psychological dynamic that can either strengthen or destroy a relationship. When you're apart from your partner, your brain fills in the gaps with idealized versions of them. This phenomenon, called the halo effect, makes you focus on their positive qualities while minimizing their flaws. Research from Cornell University shows that long-distance couples actually report higher levels of relationship satisfaction short term because they communicate more intentionally and share more meaningful conversations. However, this same idealization can create unrealistic expectations that crumble when couples finally reunite permanently. The key is understanding that the person you're dating long distance might feel different when you're together full-time, and that's completely normal. Communication is everything, but not how you think. Everyone talks about communication in long-distance relationships, but most people get it wrong. It's not about talking constantly or sending good morning texts every single day. Effective long-distance communication is about quality over quantity and creating emotional intimacy through words. Successful long-distance couples develop their own communication rhythm that works for both time zones and lifestyles. They share mundane daily details that help their partner feel included in their life, but they also dive deep into meaningful conversations about dreams, fears, and future plans. The couples that fail are usually those who either over-communicate to the point of suffocation or under-communicate and drift apart. Finding that sweet spot requires honest conversations about expectations and boundaries from day one. Trust issues will make or break you. Trust in a long-distance relationship isn't just about fidelity. It's about trusting your partner's commitment to the relationship itself. You're constantly wondering if they're losing interest, meeting someone new, or simply getting tired of the distance. This uncertainty can create a toxic cycle where you become needy and controlling, pushing your partner away in the process. Successful long-distance couples build trust through consistency in small actions, following through on plans, being transparent about their social life, and addressing concerns directly instead of letting them fester. They'd also understand that some level of uncertainty is inevitable and learn to manage their anxiety without projecting it onto their partner. The moment you start checking their social media obsessively or demanding constant updates on their whereabouts, you've already started damaging the relationship. The reunion reality check. The hardest part of long-distance relationships isn't the time apart, it's the reunions. Every visit carries enormous pressure to be perfect because you have limited time together. Couples often create unrealistic expectations for their reunions, planning every moment and expecting constant happiness. The reality is that reunions can be awkward, especially in the beginning. You might feel nervous around each other or struggle to transition from digital communication to physical presence. Some couples experience what psychologists call reunion anxiety, where the pressure to make the most of limited time actually creates tension and disappointment. The successful couples learn to embrace imperfection during visits and understand that it takes time to readjust to being physically together. Financial and logistical nightmares. Nobody talks about how expensive long-distance relationships are until you're living it. Flight tickets, phone bills, care packages, and time off work for visits add up quickly. Some couples spend thousands of dollars per year just to see each other, creating financial stress that can strain the relationship. Then there's the logistical nightmare of coordinating schedules across time zones, dealing with visa requirements for international couples, and managing career decisions around visitation plans. These practical challenges often reveal incompatibilities that weren't obvious before. If one person is always doing more of the traveling or spending more money, resentment can build. Successful long-distance couples have honest conversations about finances early on and create fair systems for sharing the burden of maintaining their connection. The endgame problem. The biggest question in any long-distance relationship is, when will this end? Without a clear timeline for closing the distance, relationships become indefinite exercises in delayed gratification. This uncertainty creates anxiety and prevents both partners from fully investing in their local lives and opportunities. Some couples get stuck in long-distance limbo for years because they can't agree on who should move, when to move, or how to handle career and family complications. The successful ones set concrete timelines with specific milestones and backup plans. They discuss career sacrifices, family obligations, and lifestyle changes openly. Most importantly, they both actively work toward closing the distance, instead of just hoping it will somehow work out magically. When long distance actually works. Long-distance relationships can be difficult, but they are entirely possible with the right mindset and circumstances. Successful long-distance couples tend to be emotionally mature and confident in themselves as individuals. Rather than relying on the relationship for a sense of identity or constant reassurance, they maintain their own goals, routines, and support systems. This emotional independence allows both partners to thrive separately while still feeling deeply connected. A common trait among thriving long-distance couples is that their separation is temporary and purposeful. Whether it's due to a demanding career, higher education, or family obligations, there is usually a clear reason behind the distance, and most importantly, a plan to eventually reunite. Instead of viewing the separation as a burden, they treat it as a shared challenge to overcome together. This shared perspective strengthens their bond and helps them stay focused on the bigger picture. Interestingly, research suggests that long-distance couples who eventually close the gap in physical distance have divorce rates similar to couples who were never apart. The success of these relationships often comes down to several key factors. Having a definite timeline for when the distance will end helps reduce anxiety and build hope. Maintaining individual social lives also prevents emotional burnout and loneliness. Trust plays a huge role, and it's built through consistency, honesty, and reliability over time. Long-distance relationships can work, not because they're easy, but because two people choose to show up with trust, effort, and intention. It's not about the miles, it's about the mindset. If you're in a long-distance relationship or have been through one, drop your story or tips in the comments. Someone else might need that encouragement. And for more real talk on love, connection, and growth, don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell. See you in the next one.